Schizophrenia is a severe and disabling illness of the brain that affects the way the mind works, often causing disturbed behavior and disrupting normal living. It will affect about 1 in 100 of the population and starts mainly in late teens and early 20s. At the very time that most people are starting out on their adult life and beginning to realize their plans and ambitions. It affects men and women alike and cuts across all social classes and ethnic backgrounds. Schizophrenia is one of the major public health challenges facing us today, and yet its true impact is very poorly understood by the general public. The cruelly high death toll from suicide and the higher vulnerability to physical ailments mean that people living with schizophrenia will die 10 to 20 years earlier than average. TUFR, pronounced TUFR, is a recovery strategy that was developed in the UK by a man who had suffered from a prolonged and very severe episode of psychosis and was able to recover sufficiently well to rejoin mainstream society. It enabled him to get back to a normal life with just a few brief relapses and eventually to get back into full-time work. TUFR is one strategy for recovery, but it's not the only one. TUFR describes the 5 essential components of the strategy. Now, any one of those elements in isolation may be beneficial, but acting together they can be a very powerful therapeutic formula indeed. Ubermind is on our way to 1K subscribers. Support from you will be amazing, thank you. And we are starting right now. Number 1. Minimum medication. Medication is a key element of the strategy, and it is no coincidence that it is top of the list. Modern antipsychotics are in most cases extremely effective in lessening the positive symptoms of schizophrenia, such as the hallucinations, voices, and the delusions, strange beliefs. In fact, about 70% of people will experience a substantial improvement in their positive symptoms when they first start on the antipsychotic medicine. This is about the same degree of effectiveness that penicillin has in treating an infectious illness like pneumonia. However, the mind is an extremely complex organ, and the way that these medicines work differs from individual to individual. Some people will respond well to a particular type of antipsychotic but not to another. Dose rates also vary. Some people will do very well on lower doses, whereas for others a high dose is needed to achieve the same benefit. However, a small number of people with schizophrenia do not seem to respond to any of the antipsychotics currently available. The aim then is to find the best type of antipsychotic that works well for you, at the minimum dose necessary to reduce the symptoms to the absolute minimum. There is no point in taking a higher dose than is necessary, as that would only lead to more problems with side effects. On the other hand, taking a low dose which does not adequately control the symptoms would not give you sufficient benefit. Like most medical treatments, antipsychotics do have some unwanted and sometimes unpleasant adverse effects that people usually call side effects. Some of the more common side effects are weight gain, anxiety, restlessness, sexual problems, drowsiness, and difficulty concentrating. It is important to realize that most medical treatments for serious physical health problems also have unpleasant side effects. Unfortunately, there is often no alternative to the side effects, whether the illness is of the body or the mind. Side effects should be seen as another aspect of the illness that has to be managed by the sufferer. They should never become an excuse to stop taking the medication. Schizophrenia is an extremely disruptive and sometimes destructive condition. It destroys careers, family relationships, reputations, and sometimes it kills people. overcoming such a powerful adversary and moving on to a meaningful life sadly entails some sacrifice, such as coping with the side effects. However, the key to this element is finding the right medication at the right dose for you. Antipsychotic medication doesn't work instantly, and it may take several months before the benefits are seen. As your mind begins to clear and you start to come out of your psychotic episode, now is the time to take on your role as case manager. By monitoring your condition regularly, you will be able to assess your symptoms and feed this back to your doctor. This data can then be used by both of you to assess the severity of your condition at the time and work out the optimum therapeutic dose of the best medication for you. Number 2. Talking therapy. There are many different types of talking therapies available today that can help in cases of schizophrenia, including counseling, support groups and psychotherapy. Talking therapy is the second element in this strategy, and after medication it is the most important component of getting well. Research has shown that people with schizophrenia who get regular talking therapy are more likely to take their medication and will have fewer relapses. However, remember that although talking therapy is extremely beneficial, when used in combination with medication, there is no evidence that it can be used to treat schizophrenia on its own. Like medication, the talking therapy has a beneficial dose. There will be times when, if you are very unwell and totally lacking in insight, talking therapy may be of no benefit at all because of your very low level of understanding. Then as you begin to come out of the psychotic episode, you may need quite a high level of therapy, such as weekly counseling and support groups. Later, when you are feeling much better and are better able to cope, you can revert back to a maintenance dose of perhaps monthly counseling and support group. Counseling will be an important component in your talking therapy regime. Counseling involves meeting a trained counselor, face-to-face, periodically for a private discussion. The discussion can cover any subject that is important to you at the time. There are many organizations across the country who provide counseling free of charge or at a nominal fee for people who are on benefits. Finding and choosing a good counselor is one of the most important roles you have as your own case manager. When the counseling session is over, it is a good idea to sit quietly with a coffee and reflect on what was discussed. Support groups can also be invaluable in the early stages of your recovery. A support group is a meeting of a group of people who have the same kinds of experiences of mental health issues as you, or anger management, although the discussion may widen to cover general aspects of day-to-day life for the members. Without a doubt, a good support group can be extremely beneficial. It will give you the opportunity to meet with other people who have similar experiences to yours, such as hearing voices, and to talk about how those experiences have affected you and how you have coped with them. It will also give you the chance to talk about problems with everyday life, such as benefits and housing. Number 3. Useful occupation. At all stages of the illness, it is vital to be able to occupy your time. This will help to distract you from your mad thoughts and will enable you to relax better. However, the type of occupation that you can cope with will vary with the stage of the illness. For some people suffering with psychosis, beliefs that TV and radio programs or books are sending them messages can sometimes make those activities risky. This is what psychiatrists call ideas of reference, and it can be one of the most isolating experiences for people with schizophrenia, since it shuts them off from any meaningful interaction with the world about them. The key is to find an activity that does not seem to provoke the mad thoughts. This will vary from individual to individual. When your condition is very severe, you may only be able to cope with very simple activities such as jigsaw puzzles, or a little light gardening, or a quiet walk in the country. Whether you are best able to do it on your own or whether you would prefer to be with someone else is very much a question of personal choice. Later on, as your mind begins to clear, you can be more ambitious, perhaps joining an art therapy or music therapy class, but you might take up a sport or join a gym. Physical activities will help you relax and improve your sleep pattern, and also help you to cope with weight gain if that is a problem caused by your medication. Later on, when your condition has much improved and you are at the stage when you are beginning to discuss reducing the dose of medication and talking therapy with your doctor, it may be time to start to think about a foray into employment or study. Number 4. Family and friends. Without a doubt, supportive family and friends are of great benefit during a period of serious mental ill health. There are a number of benefits of having a sympathetic and compassionate circle of close friends and family around you at this time of crisis. They can provide you with a roof over your head, emotional support in dealing with doctors and courts, and help in dealing with your financial affairs. However, don't expect miracles from your family. Very few people have any training or experience in coping with serious mental health problems. Your loved ones will have to learn this new role as they go along, so you need to be able to forgive them if they don't get it all right first time. Having a roof over your head during a period of mental ill health is key. Living on the streets or sofa surfing will ensure that you don't have access to the help that you need. For your mental health, such a situation is potentially disastrous. If you do have the good fortune to be living with your parents or with a partner, then you must recognize the enormous benefit that that situation gives you and do everything you can to live cooperatively with them. This may not always be easy. It may be difficult to communicate with your loved one because you are getting strange hidden messages in everything that they say to you. Activities that you used to enjoy together, such as watching the TV, may be difficult because you are getting secret messages from the programs or because you are hearing voices. They may find that you are difficult to get on with or have become very withdrawn. You may want to stay up all night when they want to go to bed. Whatever the difficulties, it is important to find a way of living together that you can both cope with. This may involve some negotiation to ensure that you do not do anything that disrupts the family life. In addition, it is important to realize that every member of the family needs to contribute. If your parents or partner are working to provide you with somewhere to live, then you need to do your fair share of the household chores. One of the first effects of intense psychosis is that you will stop looking after your financial affairs. You may not be able to work and may be unable or unwilling to claim benefits. Bills will go unpaid and threatening letters from creditors will build up. Creditors may take court action against you and you may end up with black marks on your credit record. Having a close family member or friend who can look after these aspects of your life when you can't is invaluable. Problems with court judgments or worse still, bankruptcy proceedings will come back to haunt you later in life and are best avoided at all costs. Sadly, many people who experience schizophrenia end up with a burden of debt and poor credit history that takes many years to shed. When you are fully recovered, it may be a good idea to think about making an advanced statement or power of attorney to enable someone else to look after your affairs if you should relapse in the future. As your condition improves, your family will find it very helpful to their understanding of your condition if you can share with them the details of some of your experiences. Tell them about the voices or other hallucinations, or tell them about the strange beliefs that you developed. Explain to them how the mad thoughts and ideas that you had while you were psychotic affected the way that you behaved towards them. You should also try to describe some of the problems to your close friends as well, but be very careful about disclosing details. However, not everyone is fortunate to have supportive family and friends. Whereas having a supportive circle of family and friends is of great benefit, it may be that some of your family and friends may not react as positively. Sadly, you may find that some of your closest family and friends will reject you at the time that you most need their help. And this will be a bitter pill to swallow indeed. However, although losing friends and family is a painful process, it is often in this case a necessary one. For the future, you will need people around you who will be able to react promptly and constructively in the event that you experience a relapse, and it is important to have around you a circle of people who will be able to respond well and get you the help you need. Number 5. Rest and relaxation. Getting enough rest and relaxation is an absolutely key element of the TUFR strategy. Very often episodes of schizophrenia are associated with periods of frenetic activity, while you attempt to satisfy the incessant demands of your mad thoughts. As you begin to come down from the psychotic high, you will need to relearn how to relax. Alternatively, the negative symptoms of schizophrenia may have made you withdrawn and lethargic, and you may find it very difficult to become active again, in which case learning to chill out won't be an issue for you, but learning to structure your life to find an appropriate place for your chill out time will be essential. The aim of the strategy is to make sure that you get enough time in your life to relax, but not too much. Try to aim to have a specific day each week for chilling out. Sunday is a good day since other people around you will be doing the same. Avoid making any arrangements for this day and reserve it for relaxing activities, such as watching TV, reading, phoning family and friends, napping and taking light walks. These activities can be done on your own or with someone else, depending on which you find more relaxing. Try to make this a day when you have no commitments and are free to do as you please. It is a good idea to start the day with a lie-in if you are an early riser. When you have got into a routine with your chill-out day, then try to set aside another day for your domestic jobs, such as doing the weekly shop, cleaning house, laundry, etc. If you do your domestic chores and you're relaxing at the weekend rather than during the week, you will be introducing the all-important structure into your life. On weekdays you can attend your appointments, support groups, counseling, etc., and then keep the weekends free for your personal self-maintenance, to rest and recharge your batteries for the week ahead. In this way, when you do return to work or formal study, you will already have developed a structured lifestyle that will support your activities. One of the things that many people who return to work after a long break find difficult is how to fit in all of their personal commitments into the reduced free time that they have available. Structuring your week will help you prepare better for this stage. It is important not to neglect your domestic chores. Learning to look after yourself and your home is one of the big milestones of your recovery. However, don't overdo it. Don't become so meticulous about keeping your place clean that you have no time left for anything else. Work out how much time you need to spend on domestic chores each week and stick to it. If you are living with parents or a partner, it would be a good idea to discuss this with them before you start. Then you can work out between you what the priorities are. This would also be a good time to discuss with them your plan to have a day a week set aside for relaxing, and that you would prefer not to have any arrangements on that day. So, was this video helpful? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and share with your friends, so we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell. Also, be sure to check our other videos as well. Thanks for watching.